Hola clase y bienvenidos a la lección del futuro y el condicional en español. Hello class and welcome to today's lesson on the future and the conditional in Spanish. El futuro. What are we talking about here? In English, when you say something will happen, I will do something, you use the future endings in Spanish. Sometimes. We'll talk about that later. The conditional, el condicional, is when in English you say things like, I would do this, I wouldn't do that. You use a set of verb endings called the conditional. Now, to form the future in Spanish, you take the infinitive form of the verb and you add the following endings. Repeat these. Has, ha, hemos, han. What that means is, let's take, say, the verb to eat, comer. If you want to say, I will eat, you say, comeré. You will eat, comerás. We will eat, comeremos. They will eat, comerán. Note that they all have an accent except the nosotros form, hemos. Now, in Spanish, you can also convey the idea of the future by using the verb ir, to go, preposition a, to, and the infinitive of whatever verb you want to say in the future. This way you can get around using the future endings. And this is actually more common in spoken Spanish than using the future endings. For example, I'm going to see you later. Instead of using the future of ver, to see, you can say te voy a ver después. Te voy a ver después. To form the conditional, you also use the infinitive form of the verb, and you add a set of endings. These are the endings for the conditional. Repeat, ia, ias, ia, iamos, ian. They all have an I with an accent. These are also the endings for the imperfect of ER and IR verbs. Don't get confused. The difference is you use these with the infinitive. You tack them on to the end of the infinitive for all types of verbs to form the conditional. So using comer, again, if you want to say I would eat, you say comería. You would eat, comerías. We would eat, comeríamos. And note that the endings for yo and él, ella are the same. So if you just say comería, it can mean I would eat, he would eat, she would eat, it would eat, you, usted would eat. Bien. Now there's 12 verbs that are irregular, and they're irregular in the future and the conditional, and they change in the same way for both, which is convenient. And these are the usual suspects. Verbs that are always irregular. Caber, you may not know, caber is to fit. And what happens is they get this change and then you put either the future ending on it if you want to use the future, or the conditional ending if you want to use the conditional. Let's take the verb to know, saber. Saber. Instead of adding the future or the conditional endings to the infinitive, you add the future conditional endings to this irregular form, S-A-B-R. For example, if you want to say, I will know, it's sabré. You would know, sabrías. We will know, sabremos. So here they all are in alphabetical order. Caber loses the E. Decir changes to D-I-R. Haber loses the E. Hacer gets an R. Poder and poner both lose their E. Querer also loses the E, and you attach the endings. Same with saber. Salir, tener, valer, and venir all get a D in place of the E, a D. So let's run through these with, say, the yo form conditional ending. Repeat after me, class. Cabría, diría, habría, haría, podría, pondría, querría, sabría, saldría, tendría, valdría, vendría. Now, how are you going to remember these? They're a lot of the most common irregulars, although some other common ones like ser and ir are not here. They're actually regular. Ser, in the future, for example, yo seré. Ir, yo iré. But I had a student long ago who came up with a mental device to help remember this. And it's basically an acrostic with the first letters of each of these verbs. So, it's in English. Let's try it out. Cats don't have hair. Ponies play quietly. Snakes slither through vacant vineyards. One more time. Cats don't have hair. Ponies play quietly. Snakes slither through vacant vineyards. So what am I doing? I'm making an acrostic using the first letter of each of these verbs in alphabetical order. And it could help you remember these 12 irregular verbs, at least their first letter. Although, if you remember the first letter, you also have to remember what that letter stands for. And then, once you have the verb, you have to remember how it changes. But better than nothing, ¿sí o no? Bien. Conjecture. You may not have learned this when you've studied the future and conditional in previous Spanish classes. So, conjetura, conjecture. You can use future endings and conditional endings to have a different meaning than will do or would do. Conjecture in the present is when you say things like, in English, I wonder where Juan is. He's probably in Mexico, or might be, or could be. I'm conjecturing. I'm not sure. This is called conjecturing. Maybe he's in Mexico. And you can use the future endings in Spanish to convey this idea. So I wonder where Juan is. ¿Dónde estará Juan? ¿Dónde estará Juan? ¿Dónde estará Juan? Literally, that would mean, where will he be? It also means, where will he be, if that's what you're wanting to say. But it can convey the idea, the English idea of, I wonder where Juan is. Now, there's no verb for to wonder in this case. So you really need to know that the future can be used to say this, to convey the idea. And then, he's probably in Mexico. Estará en México, which also can mean he will be in Mexico. So it's all about the context. If you're wondering or conjecturing, you can use the future ending. Now, for the second English sentence, he's probably in Mexico, there's another way to do it. You could say probablemente with the present tense, which should make sense to your English-speaking brains. Probablemente está en México. Conveys the same idea as estará en México. Bien. Now, you can conjecture in the past. So, in the last slide, we were doing it in the present. I wonder where Juan is. He probably is in Mexico. But what if you're saying, I wonder where Juan was? You can use the conditional endings on the verb to convey this idea. ¿Dónde estaría Juan? ¿Dónde estaría Juan? I wonder where he was. Now, ¿dónde estaría Juan could also mean, where would he be? In a more hypothetical sense. Conveys both ideas. So it's all about the context to know which one you want to use. And then look at this. He probably was in Mexico. He may have been. He might have been. He could have been in Mexico. You can use the conditional, estaría en México, which also means he would be in Mexico. And instead of using the conditional there to say he probably was in Mexico, you can use probablemente with a verb in the past. Could be preterite or imperfect depending on the meaning. But instead of saying estaría en México, you could say probablemente estaba en México. Bien. Time to practice. Practicar. All right, now I'm going to read a short story here. The protagonist named Juan, and I want you to listen and just try and soak in all the verbs that are in the future and the conditional. And then on your sheet, you're going to underline the verbs in the future. You're going to circle the verbs in the conditional. But first, just listen to it. Don't look at it. ¿Listos? Bien. Un día Juan decidió pensar en su futuro, por fin. Claro, era joven todavía, más o menos, pero estaba ansioso por su futuro. ¿Cómo será? ¿Dónde vivirá? ¿Se casará o no? ¿Y con quién? ¿Volverá a Canadá o no? Estaba pensando en estas cosas cuando de repente oyó a alguien llamar a la puerta. ¡Abre la puerta, Juan! ¡Abre inmediatamente! Soy yo, tu futuro yo. ¿Mi yo futuro? Pero, ¿cómo es posible? Bueno, pues sabía que te encontrabas ante un tipo de cruce de caminos. Como puedo leer tus pensamientos desde el futuro, y decidí volver aquí para ayudarte. Pero, preguntó el Juan del presente, ¿esto quiere decir que en el futuro yo tendré que volver al pasado igual que tú ahora? Claro que no. Cálmate, Juan del presente. Ahora voy a contestar todas tus preguntas. Empezamos. Tu futuro será peor que tu presente. Vivirás en Holanda, no te casarás, nunca volverás a Canadá y sufrirás mucho. ¡Qué horrible!, respondió el Juan del presente. Ahora, esa es tu vida. La mía ha sido mucho mejor, le dijo el Juan del futuro. ¿Pero cómo? ¿Que somos la misma persona?, le gritó el Juan del presente. Pues no exactamente. Mira, ahora que te he dicho todo sobre tu futuro, vas a vivir tu vida de manera que se cumplen todas estas profecías. Aunque yo, por ejemplo, me casé, viví en Canadá, seguramente nunca fui a Holanda. De hecho, si yo no te hubiera visitado hoy, durante tu vida te casarías, tendrías hijos buenos y exitosos, viajarías a Nueva Zelanda, no tendrías gatos en la casa y nunca sufrirías. Pero, ni modo, ¿eh? Gritó el Juan del presente. All right, here's that whole thing written out. So on your paper, underline all the verbs you see in the future and then circle all the verbs you see in the conditional. ¿Listos? Is this what you got? Perfecto. Now let's practice. Conjuguen estos verbos en el futuro. Oops. ¿Listos? Perfecto. Ahora conjuguen estos verbos en el condicional. Here are the answers. Seré, estarás, etc. Did you get them all right? Bien. Now, let's take it up a notch. Translate these verbs into Spanish from English. You can use the future or conditional. ¿Listos? Perfecto. Did you get these answers? Seré, bien. Perfecto. Let's take it up another notch. Put these entire sentences into Spanish. Juan was probably sad. It was probably Juan. There must be a reason, otherwise why? I wonder who's calling. Juan will return. Maria wouldn't do that. Juan shall not pass. You will eat your vegetables, Juan. Let's see if you got it right. Juan estaría triste. Or, probablemente Juan estaba triste. You can use the conditional there to indicate conjecturing in the past, or the word probablemente with the verb in the past. Número dos, sería Juan. Número tres, habrá un razón, porque si no, ¿por qué? Cuatro, ¿quién llamará? Or, me pregunto, ¿quién está llamando? A way to get around the wondering issue. If you use the verb preguntar, meaning to ask reflexively, me pregunto is literally I ask myself. It's kind of like saying I wonder, and it kind of works. Me pregunto quién está. You would use that just with the present, not future endings. It conveys the same idea as quién llamará. Número 5. Juan va a volver, or Juan volverá. 6. María no haría eso. 7. Juan no va a pasar, or no pasará. Bien. Y 8. Comerás tus vegetales, Juan. So in Spanish, you can use the future for this kind of menacing command like your mother might give you. When it's not really saying what will happen, it's you better do this. Bien.